going to start right off with a question. Just a quick one. Who here would like to have more happy in their lives? Now let's take a quick look at what happy even is. According to the Oxford Dictionary, happy is a feeling or showing of pleasure or contentment and having a sense of confidence and satisfaction. And I certainly want to sign up for more of that. And it sounds pretty easy, but how does one bring more happy into their lives? To find out some answers, I went on a search. And what I discovered was that how one navigates while living is a big part of the answer. I don't travel anywhere without my GPS. It helps me find my way in new places, and I'll admit, even in familiar places. But what about a GPS for living? A GPS to help us navigate this wonderful but busy, fast, complicated world we now live in. And what if I shared with you that yes, there is a GPS for living, and one that encourages respect and compassion towards others in their lives. Not only does this GPS help us find the way, it assists in how along the way. Because what I've experienced is how we navigate where we're going has a direct effect on how we feel when we get there. I'm a mom of two wonderful daughters, and when they were growing up, my husband and I were busy doing the things that young daughters do, like school, dance, birthday parties, and all sorts of other activities. But out of the blue and unexpected, we were hit by a violent personal storm. And this storm left a trail of devastation reaching into the very core of my family. And I experienced and now live with the pain of a parent hurting for their child, and it is a pain like none other, and my life has changed. The world as I knew it ceased to exist, and I had to find a different way to navigate back through the aftermath so I could enjoy life again. So I set out on a new search, and this one was of exploring, discovering, understanding, and healing. During this search, I discovered that I had an interest in astronomy, the planets and the stars in the heavens above us, and their spiraling orbits through space. I also discovered I had an interest in science, geometry, and nature, which was a little surprising because although I enjoyed science and geometry in school, they weren't my best subjects. I was curious as to what I was supposed to see and understand and what it was going to mean for me. At the same time, I was working my way through a stack of popular self-help books, but instead of feeling helped, I was feeling a growing frustration of how to apply principles like the law of attraction in my life, and was left with a feeling of being quite unhelped. And the suggestion that I'm creating my own reality, because to be honest, this was way too big for me. No matter how hard I tried to create a positive reality, I would get surprised and even slammed by other people's realities, and I couldn't help but wonder if I was missing something. And while all this was swirling inside my head, the craziest idea popped in there, and I grabbed hold of it. Maybe it wasn't my own reality I was creating. Maybe what I was creating was my own orbit. And I immediately felt a sense of, yeah, that's crazy, but yes, you know, that is something I can actually do. So I did some homework. I took another look at astronomy, the Earth, and the planets. They have been showing us how to orbit not only our solar system, but the Milky Way galaxy and the universe as we know it. And their presence and movement have been the focus and study since the first humans looked up at the night sky. I took another look at science, and I saw the same spiraling patterns in things that are all around us, like sound waves, in storms like hurricanes and tornadoes, in the ripples left by raindrops and ponds and puddles, in rainbows and our own spiraling DNA. I took a look at nature and saw the same spiraling patterns in the flowers and plants in my yard, in the seashells in our sea and our beaches, in pine cones and birds' nests and their eggs, and the lifelines of trees. Looking through history, the same spiraling patterns are in fossils, ancient carvings, ancient medicine, and the unexplainables, like crop circles, even our own unique individual fingerprints, and one of my favorite treats, donuts. The geometry these all shared is spirals, and I've come to understand that when spirals have movement, they become an orbit. So has the world around us been actually teaching us how to navigate life all along? And I believe the answer is yes. After all, don't we refer to living as a circle of life? Now, my next question was, how do I apply this to my life? I was very familiar with things and phrases like one's life journey, being on the right path, getting back on the right track. But having an orbit feels different. I can see myself moving forward and sideways and even in reverse without the same limitations as a path or a track. And we all have one. But until we become aware of it, some are floating around with little or no direction, like mine was. So through a process of self-awareness, I learned how to climb back into the pilot seat of my orbit. I turned on my personal GPS, and I started navigating for me. Now, how does Orbits work with personal beliefs and spirituality? Orbits is a navigational tool. It's a personal GPS. So it can assist and support one's spiritual beliefs in giving them focus and direction. Now, why is Orbits future visionary? The world is getting faster, busier, and more complicated by the minute, and probably by the second. And one can be easily swept away without a strong, reliable GPS system. And Orbits is just this. And anyone can start right now. I'm going to share with you 5 easy steps to get you started. Are you ready? Number 1, what is our orbit? Just like the Earth has its own orbit traveling the sun, it is part of much larger orbit systems, traveling the Milky Way galaxy and beyond, while still maintaining its own unique orbit path. So it is with us. We have our own personal orbit, but we are part of larger orbit systems within our family, our friends, our workplaces, and our communities. Where is our personal orbit? Just like the Earth has layers of atmosphere, so do we. We have a body, and we have layers of energy. Our orbit is the defining layer of our energy fields, keeps us together, travels with us, and lights the way. And I like to think about it as headlights in our cars at night. Number 3, we're going to do a system check for our vehicle. Just like going on any trip via car, boat, or plane, it's important to make sure the vehicle is in good working order. And in this case, the vehicle is you. Are you in good working order? We're going to do a couple of quick things to help you connect and find out. And I would like to begin by breathing. However, if you are sitting here, you are breathing, but are you aware of how you're breathing? So for the next 3 breaths, just in your own time, pay attention to how you're breathing. Just connecting with how you're breathing, some of you will likely make some adjustments that may result in improving the way you feel. Now, continuing with a body scan, starting with your head up there on your shoulders. You can just feel it up there, and you can move it side to side and up and down. You can blink your eyes and smile at your neighbor. And now moving down your neck to your shoulders, give them a shrug. You can move them forward and backwards. Moving down your arms to your elbows and your forearms and your wrists and your hands. You can give your hands a little shake and wiggle your fingers. Now moving down your chest into your middle and just checking that all your parts are there and accounted for. And moving into your legs, down to your knees and your lower legs and your ankles and your feet. And you can wiggle your toes. So now that you've reconnected with your body, let's do a system check for your orbit. Who here has hung a teddy bear or t-shirt outside the window of a moving car? Likely your parents' car, maybe it's your brother or sister's teddy bear you've hung outside that window and you're watching it spin around while they're complaining in horror. Now, who here has ever felt like that teddy bear or t-shirt hanging outside that car window besides me? Spinning around outside that car, spinning around outside yourself, spinning outside our orbit. If you catch yourself spinning around out there, the quickest and easiest way to get back inside is just to slow down your breathing until all the spinning stops. And then imagine yourself just sliding back in to the pilot seat of your orbit. Now that you know where our orbits are, what our orbits are, and we've done a system check for our vehicle and our orbit, we're ready to navigate. So imagine yourself as your own planet, Planet You. And you're going about your life in your personal orbit, around your family and your friends and your careers and activities you enjoy. Now let's set a destination. With a GPS, we program in the address, and the GPS tells us and shows us where to go. But how do you set a destination for an orbit? You set a destination with an authentic focus, and an authentic focus is generated from the heart space, which is the meeting place of what we know and how we feel. To practice, let's pick a destination that's close to everyone's heart, and that is sunset on the beach. So imagine how you would navigate your day with this outcome as your authentic focus. Would you steer and navigate towards things that would interfere with you getting to the beach on time? Or would you steer and navigate towards things that would help and support you to get to the beach on time? Are you enjoying the sunset? And this process can be applied to everything. Scientists and great teachers tell us that the universe is infinite. Imagine all the stars and planets orbiting their suns and galaxies. In fact, they tell us that the universe is constantly expanding, and there's room for all of it. I catch myself thinking that the universe is in a movie, something completely separate from me, some faraway place. But we actually live in this universe too, and we are part of this cosmic circle of life. What if we are to live as an extension of it, like science and nature shows us, with unlimited opportunities for everyone's orbits, because there is. With these 5 steps to start orbiting, can you imagine how applying them could influence how you would go about navigating your day? Would it encourage more compassion, understanding, and respect for others? Would it lessen and eliminate jealousy, judgment, and unhealthy competition? Would it bring more pleasure, contentment, confidence, and satisfaction into your daily life, which equals happy? My personal journey with orbits began with the violent storm impacting my family and my world. it doesn't have to be this way for you. You can start orbiting right now and let this personalized GPS system assist in navigating. As you leave here today, I encourage you to try it out and have some fun with it. And see how you would go about navigating the rest of your afternoon, the rest of the week, and maybe beyond. Not only is there unlimited opportunity for everyone to have a happy orbit, everyone deserves to have a happy orbit. So happy orbiting, everybody.